it an enjoyable game? Obviously, let's do a score check here. This is my job. 36-0 to Ireland. For the first time, here's a stat for you, Mac. First time Ireland ever kept Italy scoreless in a Six Nations match.
Wow.
So congrats.
There you go.
Good atmosphere out there in the stadium, mate?
It was. Yeah, there's a really good buzz around at the moment. Obviously, after the win, had a really big win in France last week as well. So I think they're aiming towards another. Actually, I don't want to throw the voodoo on it, but hopefully things go well and people are expecting big things from this team again.
Mate, how was it for you? Like you just mentioned there, it was your first time watching your boys play in a Six Nations game. So, you're injured at the moment, but how was it just, sitting in the stands and watching them?
Yeah, it's pretty shithouse, to be honest. I was thinking, this will be great. And then I sat down and was actually watching them and I was like, this sucks. Yeah. I'd rather be involved. But as I said, saying that, they're doing really well at the moment, which is it's good as well to see the team they're kind of turning into.
What is it about this team?
What do you got? Yeah.
Oh, no, you go, Giddy.
What? I want to know what he's got going on over there to the side.
Yeah.
My dog's
Telling him
been
to
naughty.
stop at 6 a.m. Oh, the dog, of course.
Hey, Mac, what is it about this Irish side? Because obviously Australian rugby is at a stage now where we're looking at Ireland and we're hoping that what Ireland did in 8 years that we can do in 8 years' time. But you're in and amongst it. What is it that makes it number one in the world?
Just the environment they've made us. We talk about all the time when you go into camp. You actually look forward going into camp. I remember when I was going into 20s and stuff like that, I used to dread it. I used to hate going up for any of that sort of stuff. But this one you really look forward to. They've just made it so when you're working, and then when it's time to switch off and have a bit of fun, you can do that as well. So I think that's just really, really key to why we're doing so well.
Mate, obviously Andy Farrell, the coach, he's a big part of the success you guys are having. But what is it about your relationship with Andy Farrell? You're obviously pretty close. You've got his face tattooed on your quad. Tell us how that came about, but also how you got such a good relationship with your coach.
I gotta stay in the team somehow, mate. So it's the way I took the road I travelled. No, he's been unreal. He can just make you run through a wall, that bloke. His pre-game speeches are always on point. It's like something out of a movie. I honestly wonder if he's practicing them before or what. But no, he's been really good, and he just kind of lets me be me and lets me play my game as well. So shows a lot of faith in everybody.
Now, what we're going to do here, Mac, this is obviously a Six Nations summation. So we're trying to keep the Northern Hemisphere interested in what we're doing. So if you don't mind, we're just going to quickly run through the other two games that took place. Big controversial ending, obviously, to the Scotland-France game. Scotland going down 16-20, and that TMO decision at the end obviously went up to the TMO. He said that, well, yeah, I could see it grounded, and then he went, oh, wait, let me have a look at one more shot. And then decided, oh, well, I don't know. And then it went back to the referee, and then it was ruled no try. And so the whole of Scotland's not happy. Fair enough. You get nervous when they're not happy because we've all seen Braveheart.
Yeah.
What did you make of it, Drew? Did you...
Yeah, I can understand the Scottish frustration. I mean, I think it comes down to the wording. It was on-field decision from Nick Berry was that he had them held up. So to overturn that to make it a try, it needed to be conclusive evidence. And then, like you say, there was a bit of ambiguity there from the TMO. Thought he saw it, didn't see it. Obviously, that means it's probably not conclusive. So then it goes to Nick Berry's on-field decision being a no try. I've seen plenty of stuff on Twitter about still shots and photos of it looking like it was grounded and all that sort of thing. It's tough. It's what you don't want to be talking about. After such a battle like that. France, for me, just aren't really clicking like we thought they probably would have been. Like last week, Ireland did really well against them in Marseille. This week, they kind of, were, I guess you could say probably lucky to get away with that one in the end. But yeah, look, it's one of those things like if you're Scottish, you thought it was a try. If you're French, you thought it wasn't. And if you're impartial, then you just put your hands on your head.
What if you're Irish, Mac? What do you reckon?
Personally, I thought it was a try. I thought it was quite obviously down, but Yeah, that was my thinking. I feel like referees are the only ones that think different to us, to most other people, really. Yeah, it was, as you said, it's something you don't want to really be talking about, but we are, unfortunately. And just they got to be able to do something where a bit of common sense can come into it, and you can reverse your call. Like,
If the ref makes a call, then maybe you need to go back to like the old school days where they just make a call. Or if they're not sure, they just send it up to the video ref and then he makes the decision rather than, like Drew said, Nick Berry said that he saw it as held up. So unless it's conclusive and you can 100% say with certainty that they scored the try, which I thought Scotland did score the try, but unless you're 100% certain, then you can't actually overturn the decision. So maybe the wording needs to be revisited. But yeah, I thought it was a good game. Scotland should have been up by a lot more. And I thought the game, they had control for probably 80% of that game, but just couldn't convert that to points. So, well, France defended really well. They had 3 scrums just before half-time, which I thought was pretty telling, for the game there where the French were able to turn them away. But, yeah, I mean, as far as the decision goes, I mean, it's made now. You just got to move on.
Hey, Mac, if that had happened and you'd been out in the field, would you have been filthy? Would you have given someone a spray, or would you have been just walked straight up the tunnel and been okay?
I think everybody, you would have been absolutely filthy, especially if, at home, like the Scottish fans are crazy enough as it is, let alone throwing fuel like that on the fire. So, no, they're a team that think, they probably thought that this was going to be sort of their year. They probably think that every year, to be honest. But the as I said, you would be spewing, especially after 80 minutes. And like the one thing that comes down to it is a ref's call. I don't know what else they can do there, really.
What happened to benefit of the doubt?
No, that went out for a while, yeah.
Well, the other thing
Should it be brought back in? Because
it should.
I mean, it's quite conclusive.
Yeah. Well, I was also reading today that it used to be, Giddy, what you were suggesting, it used to be that, and then all the coaches complained, and so then they wanted to put more onus on the referee's decision on the field, so that the referee has to make a decision and then it goes up. So it was that originally, and then they've switched it back, and now people are... Anyway, God. Should we talk about some rugby?
Get the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. The French, is there a bit of a, let's call it a World Cup hangover? Did you guys get that in 2016 after going so close? And then in 2015, was there a year after that where...
No, I had the hangover for probably a week or so, but that's probably about it.
You know what I mean? Are they now suffering as in their home country, they were kind of favourites and then they lost in the quarters and now, scraping home?
No, not necessarily. I think it's just a matter of that, after a big campaign like that, it was, disappointing for them to, bow out in the quarterfinals, but they have to go back to their respective clubs. And they were going all the way through Christmas and then back in this program now. So there's probably just a transitional challenge there around from going back to their clubs and then finding their systems again that is the French attack and French defence. And they've just struggled to get off the mark, but clearly pretty lucky on the weekend.
Mac, was there any sort of hangover from the World Cup for you guys from Ireland? I mean, I'm not talking a literal hangover. I mean, was there any... it doesn't look like there was any doubt in your camp.
No, because I haven't been in the camp, but from like talking to the lads and whatnot, no, it doesn't seem like it. I think, in this line of work, you kind of got to be able to move on quick and not let things hold over your head. So, as you said, like it looks like it's going well, and from speaking to everybody, they're completely focused on winning all these games in the Six Nations now.
Mate, was there like a team meeting or a review or anything like that just to summarise what happened at the World Cup so you could kind of park it before you go into the Six Nations, or was the first time that an Irish squad got together was for preparation for the Six Nations?
No, it would have been for the Six Nations. Yeah, I think the coaching staff and everyone had their meetings and whatnot, but we were kind of just, sent on our way, left to our own devices. So,
it's like as a player, each game you go into, you're not thinking about, even the week before, you wouldn't really be thinking about the result or what you did. You just focus on what you're doing. As far as the French is concerned, I don't think there's a hangover. They've just played two, really good teams. I think Scotland as well, like Max said, this was like their year. Even Big Jim in Corbs' rap, he said it's either now or never. This is like their year. And Ireland, they're obviously on fire. So I just think the French have come up against two very good teams. one, I think they got outclassed and outplayed against the Irish, but the Scottish, they stayed in that game and they ended up getting the victory. So I don't think it's really a hangover. It's more so that they're just playing some really good opposition.
All right, time to talk some England-Wales. England 16, Wales 14. Pretty amazing game. England, well, at the start of the game, they had 4 minutes of play with just 13 players. And then when they were down to 13 players, Ben Earl, in the 20th minute, he wrapped around the back of the scrum to score an amazing try. Did you boys catch this one?
I did. I watched the recap. Yeah, I mean, it was just a bit of a scrap. I thought, England slightly improved from last week, but yeah, Wales are pretty unlucky to not win that. I thought they were the better team. It was, I thought Ben Earl had a really good game. He seems to be growing from week to week, and that obviously that try off the back of the scrum just to run over a couple of blokes. That's
like five.
I mean, when you've got a dominant 8 off the back of the scrum, it just presents so many threats in attack, and as a back makes your job a lot easier because he's
going forward.
He's going forward, but I mean, pretty scrappy game. Obviously a lot different to the other two, but yeah, well done to the Pomps.
Yeah, it was a good contest. Obviously a close one in the end, but I think what it's probably after 2 weeks of Six Nations, it's probably pretty clear, not to put the voodoo on, like you said earlier, Mac, but it's probably Ireland's to lose, the Six Nations. Obviously winning against France in France, then,
Italy gave it to Italy.
But just did it well, right? Like looked really, really strong in that performance as well. Plenty of confidence moving forward, and if looking ahead, I would say that it's Ireland's to lose. What do you reckon, Mac?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say that. I think it's that. It's the other two words that were brought up before that I won't be saying. But no, I think it is, and I think that we kind of know that now, especially getting an away win in France. It's the next real big test. Probably going to be England away. If they can get that job done as well, then
you boys win the Grand Slam.
Oh, mate, he just said don't say it.
You weren't allowed to say it,
mate.
I didn't say it, so it's fine.
G'day, please, if you liked the show, well, show us you liked it by pressing like and subscribe so we can exist, because we don't have any more money. We need your support. And make sure you check out our other videos.